skyscraper. It was built there, and that was a small hotel. And the owner of the hotel gave the backyard to a group of archaeologists led by Professor Aviona in the early 60s, and they built it. Why I mention all these facts? First of all, it's amazing how they move it from there here. Why they had to move it? Because the hotel was sold to builders to build that high building, and the Israeli Museum offered to buy it. A model made out of millions of stones. How can you move it? They cut it to pieces. You see here, for example, you can tell that there is a cut here. Have a look over there on the wall. You see a cut over here, a cut over here, another cut over here, another cut here, another cut here. And they move it piece by piece. Took more than a year to do it. Another thing that I mentioned, that this was built in the early 60s. In the early 60s, we could not excavate in the old city because it was under Jordanians' control. So most of what you see here was built according to literature. What literature I'm talking about? The Old Testament and the New Testament that describe Jerusalem in that time, and the book of Josephus Flavius. So not every single building that you see here was actually found in a dig. Most of it is estimation. There are some minor mistakes also in the model, but it can give you an excellent understanding of the town of Jerusalem in Jesus' time. Important to remember that this wall that we are standing by did not exist in the time of the crucifixion. This wall was built in the year 44, 11 years after the crucifixion. So I will point now the two places of Golgotha, the Garden Tomb and the Holy Sepulchre. Both of them were outside that wall, because that wall did exist in Jesus' time. And if you look straight ahead, you see, I will point it with the laser, you see a gate. All can see this gate? This is station number 7 in the Via Dolorosa. Remember, we were there. Over there, Jesus fell for the second time and came out of town. Now, this is the Garden Tomb. You see the pile of stones here? This is the Garden Tomb. And look at the corner of the wall there. You see the corner? This is Golgotha, according to Catholic belief. Don't look to see the church there, because the church was built in the 4th century. This model presents Jerusalem in the year 66 AD. Why we decided to show you Jerusalem in the year 66? Why not, let's say, 10 years later?
Because it was destroyed.
Of course, in 70s was destroyed. 66 is the beginning of the rebellion. So we wanted to show you Jerusalem in its glory. So remember the two places that is the older tradition from the 4th century of Golgotha, and this is the new. Both of them we're going to visit the day after tomorrow. But we're going to make a complete round, and I will explain about it when we'll be closer. It's more or less that area that I mark now, but a little lower. It is marked in the model with a red marker. You see like a red arrow, you cannot see it from here, but when you change your position you will see it. So now you understand that we pray by a small part of the western wall. You can see the Antonia Fortress. Remember, we were there. The Praetorium, Pontius Pilate Judgment Hall is there. And now look at the top of the staircase in the Antonia Fortress. You see this gate, this gate. You see, this is the place where Jesus received the cross. Station number 2 of the Via Dolorosa. The place where Jesus received the cross, where you see this arch. Now the temple building itself is the one with the golden marble. You see the middle of the Temple Mount. This is the one, we have no remains of it. Even not one stone I can show you from the temple building itself. Let's move a little bit, and you see this building here and this building there, they are identical. Herod wanted to have good connection with the people in his kingdom. He wanted to be re-elected. So you see that opening there. It's an opening to the upper market. Before the elections, he went to the market, he took babies on his arm, the TV took pictures of it, and he was re-elected. Now you can tell that this person, Herod, was afraid of something. Have a look how many watchtowers he built around his palace. Tomorrow we're going to be in Masada. Masada is one of the refuge places that Herod built for himself. He was afraid of revolutions. He suspected almost everyone, including his wife and his kids, and he killed them, suspecting them for taking his position. Now have a look at this building here. Move a little bit. This place we're going to visit the day after tomorrow. This is the top of Mount Zion here. And have a look at the building that I mark now. You see? This building. This is the room of the Last Supper. And the first floor is King David's tomb. We're going to be there. People are always surprised that the Last Supper and King David's tomb are in the same area. But in the event of Pentecost, it's written, I can find the verse and read it for you, that the disciples told each other, brothers, I'm telling you, King David is with us until this day. It means that they knew that King David is buried nearby. So remember, this is the room of the Last Supper. I will show you from the other side the staircase that Jesus used walking from the room of the Last Supper down to the Kidron Valley and then into the Garden of Gethsemane. Now this valley here, I will point it when we will drive there. It's called the Valley of Hell. Why the Valley of Hell? In Canaanites' time, they used to have here human beings sacrificed. This area over here. And actually the city of David was already a ruin when this model was built, or when Jerusalem was here. This is the location of the city of David, but you see it was underground already. Now, rules of real estate were not different in the past. Location, location, location. Have a look what modest looking homes you have down in the valley here. And as you go up the mountain, see what fancy homes we have there. You see in that area, very big homes. In the Jewish quarter of today, we made archaeological dig and we found a home from Herod's time. One family lived in a home 6,000 square feet. Size of a home from that period of time. So no doubt the wealthy people lived up and the middle class and lower middle class down the hill. Now very, very important. Look to the corner of the Temple Mount. Left of that corner you can see a big arch. This is the Robinson's Arch. I will try to mark it with a laser. It's sunny, I'm not sure it will work, but look to the Robinson's Arch and be sure that you see that this is it, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
This is the Robinson's Arch. When we will be there, you'll see that only this part of the arch was left. The rest was destroyed. Now one arch further is the arch that I showed you in the tunnels tour. Wilson's Arch, you see? I mark it now. Wilson's Arch. Actually, we stood under this arch, and then we went from there, we turned left, and we went all the way to the Antonia Fortress. So you start to understand what we did in the tunnels tour. Valley and the Central Valley. You see this valley where you see many bridges, like this one, this one, this one. This is exactly the letter Shin. So maybe this is what they meant when they wrote that the name of God is printed over the rocks of Jerusalem. Right? And I will mark that staircase. You see? This is the staircase that still exists. And Jesus went from the room of the Last Supper over there, down this staircase to the Kidron Valley, and then to the Garden of Gethsemane, which is out of this model a little bit. And then he was arrested, and when we will be there, you will see a triple gate in that location. I will talk the day after tomorrow. I will take you here and I will show you a corner of the double gate. We will sit on this staircase and I will show you the triple gate over here. The Bible always tells us, let's go up to the temple, because the living area was here and people went up the staircase to the temple. Again, I want to point the Robinson's Arch, very important. You see? Here it is. You will see the day after tomorrow. You will see this part of it that was still left. The other side was still left, but the arch itself was destroyed. If you move the keystone, very easy to destroy an arch. You move the keystone and everything caved in. We enter from the far corner. Come to my location and you'll see the far corner. We enter that area more or less. And then here more or less, we saw the Al-Aqsa Mosque. In the location of the Al-Aqsa Mosque was the royal portico. Over there people, after they enter the double and triple gate, could wait. They could change money. The money changers were there. They could buy sacrifice. Now what is this gate here? The eastern gate. I'm standing now more or less in the location of the Garden of Gethsemane. And today when we look this direction, we could see the eastern gate. It was an open gate, of course, in the time of Jesus. And have a look, all the gates are in the same line. The eastern gate, the gate of Nikanor, that gate is the gate of Nikanor, and that is the golden gate that went into the temple area, all in a straight line. So that's why we believe that the temple was here and not in the location of the dome of the rock, which is more to the left. And we are back to the Antonia Fortress. Let's move this way and you'll see something. See, it was called St. Stephen's Gate in Jesus' time. And you can see the Pool of Bethesda. Very important. Here it is, you see? The Pool of Bethesda. Right here. And you can see St. Anne Church. All can see St. Anne Church? No? You don't see it?
It wasn't there.
That's right. Don't be confused. You're very good. Don't be confused. This is Jerusalem in the year 66. St. Anne Church is from Crusaders' time, many, many years after. Anyhow, this is the pool, and the other pool is called the Pool of Israel, was a place to wash the sheep. Remember, I say there is a pool in Jerusalem next to the sheep gate. If you'll come to my location, after they washed the sheep here, they took over there. There is the sheep gate, a small gate, that they used to bring the sheep into the temple for sacrifice.